Welcome back to another episode of Punchy Kicky Show. And I suppose as part of an introduction to my guest that I'm going to chat to in the next couple of moments, I suppose we have to say that MMA in South Africa is probably officially ground to a halt. We are now closed for Santa time, especially if we consider that EFC 91, the last event of the year, took place on Saturday. And the news out this week that MMA SA's Grassroots 3 tournament has been postponed. Alpha 12 has been postponed. And I see that GFC 90 has now also been postponed. So, yeah, I think I'm safe to say that MMA in South Africa is now on holiday. And the cool thing is that we're not finished yet from a media point of view, because the man I'm going to talk to, he's made his debut, EFC 91. Stevo Law, Lionheart. Thanks so much for your time this evening, and it's absolutely great to see you on the other side of the screen.
No, same here, Mark. It's finally nice to meet you. I've always heard everything about Ruckus. I've followed always Ruckus all the years, everything. So I know you guys are always been in the fight game in South Africa.
Thank you so much for that. And yeah, it's been a privilege watching some of the guys like yourself literally go from, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, you were literally an 0-0 athlete when I first saw you fight. Then to suddenly see you again as a professional under the big bright lights EFC on Saturday. I mean, that's like watching plants grow. You get such satisfaction when you see someone go from, does this guy have it? Does he not? And then next minute, there he stands in the cage as a professional, making his debut under the big bright lights. So from my side, from us at Ruckus, congratulations on turning pro. Congratulations on that first fight. Hard luck on the result, but we'll get to talk about that. But before we get there, let's talk, as a youngster, watched you. I mean, you were almost a Fight Star regular. That was the promotion that literally established Stevo Law. I mean, you got stuck in back. I mean, your debut back in the day was back in 2014, November 2014.
Somewhere there, it was somewhere there. It was so many years ago. I mean, we're talking about like 7-8 years ago that I made my debut, and it actually came up as a memory now on Facebook about 2 weeks ago. So I got more excited for my pro fight. But I think I've got about 20 amateur fights, which at one stage I was about 11-4, my record. And then the new rule came in, no more weight cutting and weighing in the day before, and that just completely messed up my whole story, because I do not cut a little bit of weight. I cut a lot of weight. I walk around about 90. And just before EFC 91, I weighed in at 93.
What?
And I actually, 93. I cut 24 kilos. I was the Wednesday. Our weigh-ins was on the Friday. I was the Wednesday already at 69. So I thought, okay, I'll cut until 68 so that I can have a meal, I can have some water, rehydrate myself a little bit. And surprisingly, the weight cut went very smooth. It's the smoothest weight cut I ever had. Usually I go 3 days without food, without water. And then I still train with a sauna suit for those 3 days. In the sauna permanently. I do about 20 salt baths because it's a lot of weight. I mean, 23 kilos to 20 kilos. It's not a joke. But this weight cut went smooth. I mean, I spoiled myself. This actually motivated me a lot. I spoiled myself like I was 69 kgs. I was already on weights on Wednesday night. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to do one salt bath. I haven't done one yet. One salt bath, then I can spoil myself with a little bit of water and water ice cream. And that water ice cream motivated me so much, made the easiest salt bath I've ever had. But it's rough, all the years, like I've been cutting weight like a heavy. The 1 year I had about 8 fights, and every second month I had to cut between 15 to 20 kilos. I don't know why. The night of the fight, I'm about 82 kgs. But the weight cut for my pro debut went lovely. I mean, when I spoke to Conrad Chiabi, he's one of my very good mates. I used to train with him a lot. even he said, you're strong. I was the only guy with full of smiles, making jokes at weigh-ins and everything. And he said, can see your weight cut went easy. I said, no, for some reason it went very easy, because since they brought that rule in that weigh-ins is the same day as your fight, it's just too much for me. I don't have energy. I mean, when after weigh-ins by UFC, I was weight cut in front, but I passed out directly. And I couldn't do it. That's one of the reasons why I turned pro, is because I couldn't do that weight cut anymore. I mean, my record, I think, was 10 or 11, and then 3 and 4 losses, which I had a very good record. But then when the same day weigh-ins came, I lost one after the other. And I thought, I can't do this no more. I'm going to have to turn pro. I always wanted to turn pro. I mean, I've got a very successful business and everything, but my dream was just to make that pro debut. I had it. Was a dream come true. I was so proud of myself. I mean, everyone keeps messaging me and says, well done. It really takes a lot climbing into that cage. And it was rough, but it was the most amazing experience. And with this cut to my eye, with this blue eye, with my leg that's blue, I would climb. If I didn't have this cut, I would climb next week again in that cage.
Well, the cool thing is you don't have to climb in next week. We have to wait all the way through until I think it's February. March the 5th, that's it. March the 5th for the next event. So you've got some time to heal up. But let's talk a little bit about your amateur career, because, in amongst all of those fights, it's not just an average amateur career. For those that are listening and watching this, you've represented South Africa on a number of occasions. I mean, 2018, IMF Africa Open, you represented South Africa at the Continental Showpiece right here in Johannesburg. And then later that year, you were in Bahrain for the World Champs, where you represented South Africa there again. So, I mean, you speak a lot about that EFC experience. How does that, in terms of your very young professional career, how does that experience of representing the country at the highest level of amateurs relate to your professional debut?
It's difficult to say. I mean, it was always my dream to become professional. I mean, since I started doing this, I was first boxing for like 2 years a year, and me and my boxing coach had a fight. And then I just said, you know what, screw this. I'm leaving boxing. I'm going to MMA. And I was, I think, 18 or 19 years old. And I've never looked back. I mean, I've been doing it for about 10 years now, but on, off, because I'm a plumber. So some nights I work late. But I don't know. Worlds was just on another level. It was on. I promise you, the top guys at Worlds the top pros will not stand a chance against the top guys at Worlds. I mean, those are guys who should be in the UFC and shouldn't be fighting amateur. But you want to be the best in the world, and the best to show it is by winning world championships. I mean, I went against Estonia in my fight at Worlds, and I went 3 solid rounds. I had the guy in an armbar, I had him in a rear naked choke, I had him in a triangle choke, and I don't know, he just kept coming out. But I had him in a triangle the last 10 seconds of round 2, and as he was about to tap, bell went. I'm like, damn it. But I've experienced the dream, the complete dream. I mean, I've been at Worlds, I've had my professional debut, but like I told my parents last year, I just want to do my pro debut, then I'm happy. I can retire, I don't mind. It's just a nice hobby for me and a dream come true. But now, since having that first pro fight, I promise you're going to see me maybe 3 or 4 times next year. And I'm going to call for a rematch for Kati Kati. I made a lot of mistakes. It was my first fight. I'm going to call him again.
Well, let's talk about that, because obviously, as you mentioned, it's been a while since you were last in that competitive mindset in a locked cage with someone who wants to do the absolute worst to you. I mean, we spoke about it, 3 years, almost 3 years to the very day. I mean, 12th of November 2018 was your last amateur fight at Worlds. And the 5th of December 2021 is your next fight as a professional. In your mind, was it a big shift in terms of turning pro? Because I recall earlier this year, March time, you and I were talking you seem to be almost on your way out of the country. MMA seemed to be behind you. And now all of a sudden, I look back and last weekend, there you are standing under the bright lights of EFC, making your professional debut.
Now, the thing is, we want to immigrate. We are busy with it at the moment. But the thing is, there's no other words. I'm a very blessed person. I've got a successful business. I've got a beautiful girlfriend. I've got my dogs are my kids. Got beautiful kids. And I don't know, I had the chance to go overseas last year or the year before, sometime, I don't remember exactly. And one of my friends told me, you have a successful business. I mean, everyone dreams of having a successful business. And you've got a beautiful girlfriend who supports you with everything. I mean, she did everything for me with my weight cut. Everything. When I came back from the fight, I mean, before this, she even washed my hair for me because of the cut. I can't wash my hair like this. I have to wash it backwards. I'm blessed completely with the most beautiful girlfriend, beautiful business, everything. So that's at least one thing that I can look forward to. But the thing is, because of my business, I've been out for 3 years of fighting because I was going to make my debut. I can't remember, maybe 3-4 months ago. No, longer. 5 months ago, I was going to make my UFC debut. And I got COVID from that.
Okay.
But I was training still right through. I was training through COVID. I said, I'm not going to. I think it was 4 weeks before UFC. It was 89, I think. I was training right through my COVID. I have a treadmill here. I've got a bike here, everything. I was hitting pads. I was hitting the bag. I was top fit because I can't do anything. I can't get out of my house. So I was training 8-9 hours a day. And because of that, 2 weeks before the fight, I was now out of quarantine. I couldn't keep up with all the work that I had because I haven't been at work for 2 weeks. And it just built up. And a week before the event, I told Graham, I'm sorry, I can't fight UFC. I've got too much work. I'm not training. Because my coach told me, and my coach is like my dad. I love him to bits. I mean, he said on our wrestling group the other day, he sees me as one of his sons. We've been training together for 8 years about. And I told him, if something had to happen to him before I make my professional debut, I will not fight. He got me where I am today. We were at one stage on a 7-fight win streak. And I just had my first wrestling tournament this year. I've been wrestling for also about 7-8 years. And I actually met my coach in the finals.
Okay.
He's my coach. That's why he beat me. Yeah, I met my coach in the finals of the wrestling tournament for gold medal. I mean, I beat a SA champion. I beat a SA champion 10-0. And this was my first tournament. I mean, the one guy that I beat, I was wearing my coach's Springbok outfit. So it says that I'm a Springbok wrestler because I didn't have an outfit to wear. And I beat the guy. This is my first tournament now ever, and I beat the guy. So I'm going on like a crazy person. Yes, yes. And the guy's parents are like, why is he getting excited? He's a Springbok wrestler. Meanwhile, it was my first tournament. This is not my clothes that I'm wearing. But yeah, then I ended up going in the finals against my coach for gold medal. And he gave me in hiding. But I didn't even feel bad. I mean, my first tournament, I got silver. I got second place. I think there was 5 guys in our weight. I got second place. There was one guy that's been wrestling for over 10 years, about 3-4 years more than me. And I beat that guy 10-0. He came second at SA Champs. So yeah, it's a nice experience as well. I've also, with the 3 years that I was off, I didn't train. But I still did jiu-jitsu. I did a lot of jiu-jitsu. I actually tapped Smith Stain. I don't know if you know him. It's quite a big name at the UFC.
Yep.
I tapped him in 45 seconds. The last jiu-jitsu tournament about 2 months ago. I tapped him in 45 seconds. But that's a big name to tap. I mean, that guy is a monster and he's extremely strong. So yeah, I've been having a good year, but like I said, this pro fight has just made me more hungry for more fights and definitely for a win, because I feel like I didn't perform the way that I do, that everyone knows me. So this year coming, I promise I'm going to give my everything. I spoke to Ashley Calvert. He's one of my training partners. We didn't train a lot the last month and a half, because he's been on his own. He didn't want anyone to train with him really or anything. So I kept training with Jacques Rousseau the whole time. But I spoke to Ashley. We're going to be training about 6 hours every day from January, the first week of January, until the next EFC. I might sit out that EFC, but the next one I'm going to be on the card.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, you've kept your training up, and in preparation for your pro debut, you stepped into the cage. You didn't really get the chance to showcase all of those skills that you've been working on. I mean, talking about the wrestling, talking about the grappling training that you've done. Let's talk a little bit about the fight, because it seemed obviously still a feeling out process for you guys, right, in the first sort of minute and a half, or a couple of kicks exchanged, and it seemed as though, when you threw a kick, it seemed to bug you. I mean, that check on the kick, was it that bad? Because it seemed that once you threw that kick, once it was checked, your game plan seemed to disappear, because you seem to be focused more on your foot. Next minute, there's a big bowler coming down the pipe, and suddenly you're on your back. I mean, is that a fair reflection as to how sort of everything unraveled for you there?
Look, one thing that I can say, the amateurs that are watching this, when you make your pro debut, it's not a joke. It's that feeling inside. It's something completely. I mean, I spoke to my brother today. My brother had 2 fights, amateur fights, and he said his heart almost went to go stand watching me fight. So he said he would have died if he was inside that cage. He says it's a completely. I said it's a completely. You got millions of people watching you over the world. I mean, Dana White could even be watching. It's a small event, but you never know. And the thing is, my jiu-jitsu is very good with my wrestling base. I've got a very good jiu-jitsu wrestling base. I made very stupid mistakes that fight. I mean, one where he kicked me in the body and I caught his foot. I'm very good with foot attacks, foot submissions. I just left it. I don't know why I didn't even go for it. As soon as you give me a foot, I promise I'm going to tap you. That's how I've been in training. My coaches know it that way. I mean, Jog knows when at a grappling tournament, when I'm close to a guy's foot, I tap him always. But I make small mistakes. My plan was to keep it chill, low level, because I know the guy doesn't have fitness. I mean, he was dead after our fight. When I hugged him, I could hear him breathe very hard. My fitness was still fine. I was training 6 to 7 hours a day for 3 months, 4 months about. I was training 6 to 7 hours a day. And then as soon as he kicked me on my one leg, I thought, screw you. I'm gonna kick you back. I'm gonna make sure it hurts. So I put all my power in the kick. Unfortunately, he saw that kick coming, and he checked my kick. So as soon as I put my foot down from that kick, I didn't feel it at first. I felt a little. Then when I put weight on it, I felt, whoa. There's something seriously wrong with my foot. So I thought maybe I broke it or cracked it or something, and I stepped back. I moved backwards. And as soon as I moved backwards, I looked at my foot just for a split second. And as I looked in front, the first was right here. And then I was like, okay, it's too late. I'm going to have to eat the shot, but let me just move a bit back to stop a little bit of the impact. And I moved back, and he caught me, but it didn't hurt me. And then the ground and pound just flew. When he eventually cut me, I couldn't see anything. The blood went straight into my eyes. And I actually tapped from the shots, because I can't see anything coming. I think I had like 4 or 5 shots after the blood went into my eyes. And I tapped from it. I even said, I'm tapping, and the ref didn't hear me. And it's like, okay, cool. Let me just try to cover up, and then we take it from there. And then the medic team came in. They stopped the fight. Medic team came in. Everyone was so worried about my face because of this massive gash in my face. I'm like, listen, guys, I don't care about my face. My foot, I think I broke it. And they just kept saying, listen, no, your face. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to climb on the stretcher. I'm fine. I'm fine. My foot, help me. Just pick me up. No, I don't want to. I said, no, screw this. I got up, said to Kati, thank you very much for the fight. I mean, he's a good opponent. He is talented. But I just feel like I could have beat him. because I literally blocked, if you watch the fight again, I blocked every bowler he threw because I know he throws bombs. So that was our plan. As soon as he throws, close up and then counter. I mean, a good example that's big lights is a bit too much for you. I mean, I blocked one shot and I threw a hook with it. And I landed the shot. And we've been training for months, years. As soon as you land a hook, you come in with a straight right as well. And for some reason, I started laughing at him. That Soldier Boy on the commentating, Steve was laughing at his opponent. And I'm like, my girlfriend also said, why were you laughing at him? I mean, come on, it's a fight. You must be serious. But like I said, this is more of a hobby for me. I do it for the love of the sport. I enjoy it. It's a beautiful sport. I wish it can grow more. Wish it can be an Olympic sport for the amateurs. And I wish the pros can see more. But it's just a beautiful sport. And I'm happy for making my debut. It was the best decision ever. Even with my face looking like this, I mean, it looks like I got a hiding. My mom told me she'll give me a hiding if I ever climb in the cage again. She gave me a massive speech on Sunday, and then I told her today I'm gonna be back in the cage in about April, and she just said nothing. She knows I'm doing it for the love of the sport. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to get hit.
Well, I suppose that is part of the sport. I mean, the other guy, your opponent, his intent is to do as much harm as he possibly can in the shortest amount of time and walk out as unharmed himself. But talking about your future, I mean, we mentioned earlier, you haven't really had a chance to showcase your ground skills. Like you said yourself, a couple of very basic errors you made in that fight, things you'd like to rectify. Come March, April next year, do you see yourself seeing out 2022 as a professional fighter, or do you have a very, very specific goal that 3 or 4 fights from now, I'll have achieved my goal of becoming a professional, having a couple of fights, and then I can dive deeper into making my business even more successful? What's the plan for you going forward, Stevo?
No, definitely 3, 4 fights going on. I'm gonna win. I mean, I spoke after my teammate Ashley Calvert won his fight in beautiful fashion. I mean, it was top class MMA. And I went to the back after his fight and I said, Ash, I'm done. I know you're very private with your training and stuff, but you're my teammate. We train twice a week together. I want to train every day with you, 4 times a day. I don't care because he's got his own gym, everything. His gym does very well. We've got a SA boxing champion there as well. And it showed. I mean, Ashley had the most beautiful stand-up ever with his fight. But one thing that's on my list, end of next year, I'm calling out Kati Kati. I'm going to make sure that I get 2 to 3 wins on my name. I'm going to put my everything in that. I want that rematch because I think the stage fight was a bit too much for me. I mean, I'm a wrestler. When I have your back, the first thing I'll do is trip you. I mean, I was holding him like this. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I had him on the ground as well when he kicked me on the body. Took him straight down. My top control is extremely good. And I lost him. I mean, small mistakes. Like I'm saying, all the amateurs is watching. It's a big step, and that big light, it shines bright in your eyes. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not looking for any excuses. He beat me fair and square, and I'm very grateful. Thank you for giving me a good fight, but I'm coming back, and I'm gonna come back with a vengeance because I'm gonna make sure that there's at least 2, 3 wins on my name before I call him out.
Well, Stevo, absolutely fascinating chatting to you. Finally, talking face to face with you. I really look forward to seeing you back in the cage again early next year. Hopefully, first, maybe second event, EFC event of 2022. I wish you speedy recovery with that third eye because it doesn't look so bad now as I look at you on the screen, but on the photos or on TV, it was bad. It really looked bad.
I can come closer. You can see it there. The thing is, they glued it on because I wanted stitches. I wanted to heal quickly so I can get back to training. And they glued it. And this morning we actually woke up with a whole bed full of blood.
Okay.
And my girlfriend was like, listen, we need to take off that plaster because something is wrong. And the whole gash was about like that. Right?
Okay.
Like that. It's much bigger than now. My girlfriend fixed it today. So we said, okay, cool. We're going to open it up, clean it up, and put these plasters on. And it actually worked out quite nicely. It sealed it about that much. Because it was still big. But like I told you, I'm blessed with a beautiful girlfriend. She takes very good care of me. I mean, they say every fighter needs a beautiful wife or girlfriend. Take care of them, because we are very difficult creatures and we are in a very difficult sport. And everyone wants me to fight at welterweight, which I think, I mean, if I had to see the Rocha, then those guys are that much taller than me. Yes, you can beat them. You can. I've actually gotten, not a lot of people know this, I've got a win on lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. I've fought on light heavyweight against Wayne. I can't remember his last name now. At a charity event for Graham. It's not on Tapology. I need to remember his name. He's also a fight-style fighter. And it was his third fight. It was my fifth fight. Because our fighter pulls out of the fight at the event. And I'm very respectful to my opponents and everything like that. You cut weight. I know how difficult it is. All the months of training, and then someone pulls out at the event. I see that as very disrespectful. So I told my training partner, I told him, listen, this is not sharp. This guy has been training his arse off to be here, same as you. Now you're pulling out by the event. He says, no, you can't do it. I said, you know what? I'm 86 now. I'll take the fight. I'm a light heavyweight. Went to his opponent. I said, listen, my guy doesn't want to fight it with you. Can I fight you? And I ended up winning that fight. So like I said, I've got it on 4 weight classes. We are thinking of moving down to featherweight just to try. So I've 5 weight classes in my career. I mean, I walked around a light heavyweight just before the EFC event. I was walking around 93, so I was a light heavyweight.
I'd like to get your thoughts on something, because I know you and I exchanged a couple of views on social media over the last couple of days and a couple of hours before the event. As someone who, as you've quite rightly said, respects the fact that your opponents are doing or meant to be doing what you as an athlete, whether it be professional or amateur, when you agree to take a fight, you agree to take it at a certain weight. What I'm seeing, and I don't know if I'm alone in it, because I get the sense that I might be, is it seems to be building up where more and more fighters are disrespecting the concept of the contract, not making weight, and they are just, I mean, if we just look at what Paulo Costa did in the UFC, just absolutely disrespected the concept of the contract that he signed, his opponent having to fight for it, not making the weight. And now we look at an EFC event where you've got a co-main event, a challenger for the title, misses weight by, almost 3 pounds or more than 3 pounds. You've got
3.6. It was 3.6 pounds.
You've got your main event where one of the athletes has to be helped onto the scale, and this the second time in a row where clearly weight cut is a problem for him, and nothing seems to be done. I mean, your thoughts quickly on this concept of fighters just not taking weight cuts seriously.
No, I would take it. If my opponent doesn't make weight, I'll feel you're not respecting me as an opponent. I made weight. Why can't you do it? I mean, I'm sorry. I was once 1.4 kilos overweight. I had an hour to cut it. I was in the morning, 6 in the morning. I was 77 kgs. I needed to be at 6 at night, 70 kgs. So I had 7 kilos to cut in 12 hours. And I got it. I was cutting the whole day, like non-stop, cutting. And I got to weigh-ins at, I think 1.4 kilos overweight. And I'm not a guy, I've never missed weight. Surprisingly, I made weight that day. I've never missed weight. My coach got to the weigh-ins. He asked me, I'm very scared of my coach. He's like my dad, like I said, but he will give me the hiding of my life. And I'm not even joking. When there's times where I have disrespected him, and he gave me a hiding in the gym. But then we went to a gym straight. I ran for a whole hour. I had an hour to cut with a sauna suit and 3 jackets. I ran, not jog, I ran. And my coach said, if you stop on this scale, I will kill you. I will give you the hiding of your life. I promise you, you're not going to disrespect your opponent and you're not going to disrespect me. And surprisingly, I made weight. I mean, I can't say anything much about not making weight. I've always made weight. If it wasn't for my coach that day, it would have been my first time not making weight. But it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. And I mean, come on, guys, it's EFC, it's pro, it's the biggest platform in Africa. And you're missing weight, especially for a title. I mean, I would make sure I would go donate blood if I had a title shot. And I'm a kilo. I'll donate a liter of blood just to make sure that I make weight, because it's your chance to become the best in your weight in Africa. And as soon as you do that, win another 5 fights and you can look at a UFC contract, PFL contract, Brave contract. And guys don't see this. I mean, you can do something. I mean, if I can cut 7 kilos in 12 hours, those guys can cut more. Those are big boys. I mean, no disrespect to August. I think he's an elite athlete. I love watching that guy fight. But I mean, come on, he made the whole year weight. The one time that you have to make weight and you didn't. I mean, were you celebrating the time before the event or something like that? Because of you got a title shot and everything. I mean, your head has to be there the whole time. I had my birthday, I think 5 birthdays. I couldn't drink. I couldn't eat what I wanted because I always used to fight in December. I don't know why. So I always had to fight in December. And I'm very strict. I mean, I went away for my birthday that weekend. I was jogging by the place to, just to stay fit, everything. Everyone was drinking. I had about 20 people there. Everyone was drinking. Everyone was having braai meats. Yeah, I am with my salad and my chicken breast. And jogging every day. It's that dedication. I mean, if August, like I said, no disrespect, he's an amazing athlete. But if you can make weight once, you can make weight every time. That's what I feel like. The same as Paulo Costa, like you said, if you can make weight once, you can make it every time.
Yeah, well, Stevo, I do agree with you. I think once you agree to a specific fight at a specific weight, it's up to you as a person, your integrity, and like you say, the respect towards your opponent who is about to face you in the cage or in that arena, for you to show that respect towards them. But 100% agree with you. I've thoroughly loved this conversation. It's been a long time coming. I promise you, it's not going to be the last time. I can't wait for us to have a chat after your first win, because I think the conversation will be a very different conversation then, and I'm looking forward to that one. So thanks again for your time this evening. And
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
To you and your family, have a fantastic time off. Let your third eye heal. A blessed Christmas. Hope you have a great new year, and we look forward to seeing you in that new year, all ready to rock and roll.
Thank you, Mark. And same to you guys and to everyone watching. Have a blessed year. Hopefully I see more fans of mine. I'm not a bad guy. I'm really not a bad guy. I'm actually a very chill guy, but guys must have an awesome time. And thank you so much for this interview. And I promise, next one will be at EFC. You're going to be standing outside the cage, getting ready to have the interview, because I'm not losing. There's no way.